Okay, let's dive right into this explainer and uncover the shocking, invisible hazards lurking in the exact room where you make your dinner. We all kind of think of our kitchens as the heart of the home, right? It's this place of warmth, family, nourishment. But beneath the surface of your countertops and tucked away inside those cozy cabinets, there is some serious chemistry and biology at play. Today, we're decoding the science of kitchen safety.
I know, it's a dramatic question, but honestly, by the end of this, you might look at your kitchen a little differently. To explore these hidden hazards, we're going to take a journey through a hypothetical dinner party. And to really bring this to life, I want you to picture this whole scenario playing out in a modern, flat vector illustration style. Imagine super vibrant pink and cyan art, a really bright, fun visual style that creates this wild contrast with the grim reality of the daily household dangers we're actually talking about. Ready? Let's start the party. Section 1, the vintage glassware trap, pouring a poisonous drink.
So, our guests have arrived, and we're kicking off the evening by pouring a drink into a gorgeous, wobbly stemmed vintage glass you scored at a thrift store. But here's the reality check on that aesthetic. Pre-1970s glassware was constantly manufactured with harmful toxins just to achieve those beautiful colors and that extra durability. We're talking heavy metals, cadmium, arsenic, and lead baked right into the paints and glazes. To put that into perspective, the legally allowed limit for lead in the surface coatings of consumer products today is just 90 parts per million. But Tamara Rubin, a really prominent lead poisoning prevention advocate, actually tested a piece of her own vintage barware using a specialized X-ray fluorescent spectrometer. And guess what? That single vintage glass contained a staggering 90,000 parts per million of lead. That is exponentially higher than the safety threshold, just sitting right there on a bar cart.
Now, you don't have to completely give up your vintage aesthetic, but the absolutely crucial point here is knowing what to avoid. Highly acidic or alcoholic drinks can actually cause that lead to leach right out of older glasses and straight into your drink. You also want to definitely avoid glasses with raised 3D painted decorations that feel kind of rough to the touch. Over time, that paint sheds these toxic microparticulates that you can easily ingest without ever knowing it. Oh, and steer clear of orange, yellow, and red colors because those often contain cadmium. Instead, look for unpainted, solid hues and seek out press-line seams on the glass. Those seams usually indicate a molding process that didn't rely on lead.
Moving on to Section 2, the nonstick cookware thread, heating up the pan. Drinks in hand, we head to the stove to prep the main course, some raw chicken. Now, obviously, handling raw poultry carries its own well-known biological risks like salmonella, which means you need careful hand washing and proper cooking temps. But the real danger might actually be the pan itself. Non-stick pans are coated with a chemical compound called PTFE. Under normal, everyday cooking conditions, it's generally fine. But if you heat an empty non-stick pan above 260 degrees Celsius, that's about 500 degrees Fahrenheit, that coating literally begins to break down. When it degrades, it releases this complex mix of oxidized, fluorinated substances right into the air. And inhaling these fumes causes headaches, chills, fever, chest discomfort. It is quite literally a flu caused by your cookware, scientifically known as polymer fume fever, or more commonly, Teflon flu.
To protect yourself, and this is a total game changer for how you cook, always add your oil or your food to the pan before you turn on the heat. An empty pan on a hot burner can reach that dangerous 500-degree threshold in just a matter of minutes. Also, never cook with scratched or peeling nonstick pans, because that coating can just leach right into your food. And there is a highly specific, honestly tragic risk here regarding pet birds. Birds have incredibly sensitive respiratory systems. The fumes from a single overheated pan that might just give you a mild headache can be suddenly fatal to them. Always keep your birds completely out of the kitchen.
Section 3, home can sides, the silent killer.
Okay, our chicken is cooking safely on medium heat. The dinner is coming together beautifully. So let's serve some sides by opening a rustic, gorgeous jar of home canned vegetables to share with our guests. Home canning has seen a massive resurgence lately, right? And it looks incredibly charming. But while these jars look perfectly innocent and delicious, they can literally be a bacterial time bomb if they aren't handled perfectly. The major threat here is Clostridium botulinum. This bacteria absolutely thrives in environments with no oxygen, which is exactly what the inside of a sealed jar is. Furthermore, it specifically loves low-acid foods like vegetables, soups, and meats. If these low-acid foods are improperly processed during that initial canning stage, the bacteria survives and produces the botulism toxin.
This creates a pretty terrifying real-world contrast. You've got this beautiful, artisanal-looking jar of food, but inside is one of the most lethal toxins known to science. Just a tiny taste, literally a fraction of a spoonful, of improperly canned food containing the botulism toxin can lead to descending muscle weakness, respiratory paralysis, and even death. And these severe neurological symptoms, they can start appearing in just a matter of hours. So you must strictly follow approved, modern canning guidelines to ensure your safety. A standard boiling water bath, it's just not enough to kill botulism spores in low-acid foods. You absolutely must use a pressure canner to reach the super high temperatures required. Never, ever just pour hot food into a jar and let it self-seal without processing it properly. And as a final failsafe, you should always boil home-processed, low-acid foods for 10 minutes in a saucepan before you serve them. Finally, if you grab a jar and it's cracked, leaking, swollen, or if it squirts liquid or foam when you open it, do not even taste it. Don't even think about it. Throw it away immediately. Section 4. The deadly cleanup routine. Scrubbing the kitchen. Thankfully, our hypothetical dinner party was a total success. The meal is over, the guests have gone home, and now it's time to scrub those counters and floors. But here's where things get surprisingly dangerous. As people became hyper-focused on disinfecting their homes back in early 2020, the CDC reported a massive 20% spike in calls to poison control centers. And this spike was directly related to household cleaner exposure. People were adopting this more is better approach, mixing chemicals to get things extra clean, which is a guaranteed recipe for disaster. The absolute most common and dangerous mistake is mixing chlorine bleach with ammonia. When these two chemicals combine, they undergo this rapid chemical reaction that releases chloramine gas. If you accidentally create this toxic, often lime green gas in your kitchen, you will instantly feel a sharp burning in your eyes and throat. If this happens, you must immediately move to fresh air and call 911 or a poison control. Don't wait because the fumes can build fluid in your lungs and overwhelm you in mere minutes. So, how do we actually build a safe cleaning toolkit? It's simple. Keep your cleaning routine basic. Stick to a heavily diluted solution of just 4 teaspoons of bleach to 1 quart of water, or rely on EPA-approved Safer Choice cleaners. Always ensure your kitchen is well ventilated when you're cleaning, and here is a highly specific but absolutely critical warning. Never use bleach to clean up pet urine stains. Why? Because urine naturally contains small amounts of ammonia, which means applying bleach to it can trigger that exact toxic chloramine gas reaction we just talked about. Now, if you ever need to clean up a severe biological spill in your kitchen, say you dropped a jar of that contaminated botulism food, or you spilled raw chicken juices loaded with salmonella all over the floor, you need a very targeted approach. Carefully follow these exact steps. Use a stronger 1 to 5 bleach to water solution to completely cover the spill. Place paper towels over it to keep it wet, and then, this is the hard part, wait a full 15 minutes to let the bleach totally neutralize the biological threat. Then you can wipe it up safely and wash your hands thoroughly. Well, we survived our hypothetical dinner party, but it definitely leaves us with a stark reality check. From the beautiful vintage glass you drink from to the nonstick pan you heat up, all the way to the basic cleaner sitting under your sink, modern conveniences require modern awareness. So before you pour your next drink or heat up your frying pan, take a look under your sink and inside your cabinets. What invisible chemistry experiment are you accidentally running in your own home? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and stay safe out there.